Hey everyone, welcome to Let's Talk English. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jeremiah. In this podcast, we help you learn English by listening to natural conversations.
This podcast is made for people who are learning English and want to hear real, natural conversations, the kind you'd actually have in everyday life. We talk slowly, we keep things simple, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Exactly. And today's topic is a really good one. We're talking about what to say when you meet someone new, like those first few moments when you're talking to a person for the very first time.
Yes, and I think a lot of people, even native English speakers, can find this a little bit awkward. You know that feeling when you meet someone and you just don't know what to say?
Oh, absolutely. It happens to everyone. But the good news is there are some really common phrases and expressions that people use all the time. And once you know them, it gets so much easier.
Right, exactly. So today we're going to share some of those phrases, and we're also going to tell some stories from our own lives about meeting new people. So stay with us, it's going to be a great episode.
All right, so let's start at the very beginning. The very first thing you say when you meet someone. Michelle, what's usually the first thing that comes out of your mouth?
Okay, so most of the time, the first thing I say is just, "Hi, I'm Michelle," or "Hey, nice to meet you." It's simple, but it works every single time.
Right.
And "nice to meet you." That's one of the most important phrases in English for introductions. You say it right after someone tells you their name. So they say, "Hi, I'm Sarah," and you say, "Nice to meet you, Sarah." It's friendly, it's warm, and it shows the other person that you're happy to meet them.
Yeah. And sometimes people also say, it's great to meet you, or it's so good to meet you. They all mean the same thing, just a little more enthusiastic maybe.
Totally. So let's paint a picture. Imagine you're at a party. A friend brings someone over and says, "Hey, Michelle, this is my coworker, James." What do?
Yeah, okay, so in that situation, first thing I'd do is smile. Body language matters a lot. And then I'd say, hey James, nice to meet you. How do you know each other? And that last question, how do you know each other? That's a great one. It gets the conversation going right away.
Oh, that's such a good phrase. How do you know each other? Or sometimes people say, how do you two know each other? It's a natural question because usually you're both there because of the same person, and it gives the other person something easy to talk about.
Exactly. It takes the pressure off you because now they're talking and you just have to listen and respond.
Yes, I love that strategy. Okay, so Jeremiah, do you have a memory of meeting someone new that went really well?
Yeah, actually, I do. So, a few years ago, I was at a work event. You know, one of those company mixers where everyone is supposed to talk to people they don't normally work with.
Oh, yeah, those can be so awkward.
They really can be. So, I was just standing near the food table, classic move, and this woman came up to grab some chips, and I just said, hey, I don't think we've met. I'm Jeremiah. And she laughed and said, I'm Dana. I work in accounting. And I said, oh, cool. What do you do exactly? And just like that, we were talking for like 30 minutes.
That's so good. And I want to highlight that phrase you used. I don't think we've met. That is such a smooth, polite way to introduce yourself to a stranger. It's not pushy at all. It's almost like you're giving the other person a small excuse, like, oh, we just haven't had the chance to meet yet.
Right, yeah, it's gentle. And then after you introduce yourself, a very common question in English is, what do you do? Which really means, what is your job? It's small talk, but it's a very natural way to learn about someone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, just a quick note for our listeners. In some places, asking, what do you do right away might feel a little direct, but in many English-speaking cultures, it's totally normal and not rude at all. It's just a friendly way to get to know someone.
That's a really good point, Jeremiah. Okay, so what about a different situation, like meeting someone in a class? That's a common one. Let's say you're taking an English class, or a cooking class, or a yoga class.
Oh, yeah, that's a great one because you already have something in common. You're both in the same class, so that makes it easier.
Exactly. When I was taking a pottery class, yes, I went through a pottery phase. I remember meeting my friend Lisa on the very first day. I sat down next to her and said, "Is this your first time doing this?" And she said, "Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing." And we both laughed, and it was just easy from there.
Huh, that's great. And that question, is this your first time, is so useful. You can use it almost anywhere. Is this your first time at this gym? Is this your first time at this restaurant? It's a conversation starter that anyone can answer.
Yes, and a similar one is "Have you been here long?" which you might hear at an event or if someone got there before you. Like you arrive at a party and you see someone standing by themselves and you walk over and say, "Hey, have you been here long?" It's friendly and casual and it opens the door to more conversation.
Right, and those kinds of questions are what we call small talk. Small talk is light conversation. It's not deep or serious. It's just the easy back and forth you have when you're getting comfortable with someone. Things like the weather, the place you're in, or a shared experience.
Mm-hmm. And small talk is actually really important in English-speaking cultures. It's how people warm up to each other before they get into bigger conversations. So don't think of it as meaningless. It's really the start of a connection.
Totally. Okay, let's talk about meeting someone through a mutual friend, because that happens a lot. Like someone texts you and says, "Hey, my friend is in town. Come hang out with us."
Oh, yeah. I love those situations. Usually, your mutual friend will introduce you, but sometimes they wander off and suddenly it's just you and this new person. And that can feel a little awkward.
Ha! Yes! The classic "my friend disappeared" situation. So in that case, a great thing to say is, "So how do you know Marcus?" or whatever your friend's name is. Because again, you already have that connection. You both know the same person.
Right, right.
And usually, their answer gives you a lot to work with. Maybe they say, "Oh, we went to college together." And then you can say, "Oh, really? Where did you go?" And now you're having a real conversation.
That's such a good tip. Follow-up questions are everything. In English, we call this keeping the conversation going. You ask one question, they answer, and then you ask another question based on what they said. It shows you're listening and you're interested.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And little responses like, "Oh, really?" or "That's interesting," or "No way." Those are great because they show you're paying attention. They're short, but they keep the energy up in the conversation.
No way is such a fun one. It doesn't literally mean you don't believe them. It's just like a friendly, surprised reaction. Like, "No way, that's so cool."
Ha! Yes, good point. English has a lot of expressions like that, where the literal meaning and the real meaning are a little different, and that's something we'll keep exploring in future episodes too.
Okay, so let's do a quick recap of the phrases we've talked about so far, because I think it helps to hear them all together.
Yes, let's do it. Okay, so first, "Nice to meet you." You say this right after someone tells you their name. Simple and always appropriate.
Then there's "I don't think we've met," a polite, easy way to introduce yourself to a stranger.
What do you do?
"How do you know each other?" Or "How do you know so-and-so?" Great for when you meet someone through a mutual friend.
Is this your first time here?
And "Have you been here long?" Casual, warm, and works almost anywhere.
Beautiful. That's a solid starter kit right there. Now, Jeremiah, one more thing I want to talk about. What do you do when the conversation starts to slow down? Like there's a pause and it gets a little quiet.
Ooh, the dreaded awkward silence. Yeah. So a couple of things work well here. One is to comment on something in your environment. Like if you're at a party, you might say, "This music is great, right?" Or "Have you tried the food? It's really good." You're just finding something around you to talk about.
That's smart.
And another thing is to share something small about yourself and then flip it back to them. Like, I just moved to this neighborhood, actually. Do you live around here? You share a little, then ask a question. That keeps things moving.
I love that. Give a little, ask a little. It's like a gentle back and forth. And honestly, I think the most important thing to remember is just be curious. People love to talk about themselves, and if you show genuine interest, the conversation will usually find its own way.
That is so true. And don't worry too much about being perfect. Even if you make a small grammar mistake or can't find the right word, just keep going. Most people are kind and they appreciate the effort. The conversation matters more than perfection.
Yes, 100%. And for our listeners who are learning English, you are already doing something amazing just by listening to this podcast and practicing. That takes real effort, and we really admire that.
Absolutely. All right, I think we should start wrapping up. Michelle, any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yes! So this week, I want to challenge all of you, our wonderful listeners, to practice at least one of these phrases in real life. It could be with a neighbor, a classmate, someone at the store, or even a friend you already know. Just try saying, "Nice to meet you," or "How do you know so-and-so?" and see what happens. You might be surprised how easy it feels.
I love that challenge. Practice is really the secret. You can listen all day, but using the language yourself, that's where the magic happens. So thank you so much for spending this time with us today. We really hope you found it helpful and fun.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend who is also learning English. And come back next time. We have another great topic coming up, and we can't wait to talk with you again.
Until next time, I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jeremiah. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll talk soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.